The ninth question of this series is, how does sexual energy measure up to the evolutionary principles of biology? One reader of the Charisma School newsletter wrote down this question. How can one say that this sexual energy thing can drive girls to you, even approach you, opposing the established social roles and expectations, regardless of the status of a male, the key point who seems to determine the old sexual market dynamics? Since sexual rejection is the default for an average male, and it is an observable fact, based on evolutionary principles of biology itself, how can sexual energy defy the evidence of average or even low sexual stats of a male? And this is a great question that demands an elaborate answer. From the evolutionary standpoint, there's a whole range of markers for sexual selection. We are talking about psychological markers like dominance and genetic traits like symmetry, height, waist ratio, among others, and social status like wealth or popularity, for example. Which ones are the most important ones? Is it wealth? Looks? So an ugly wealthy guy would generate more attraction than a good-looking poor guy? Well, it's hard to say, but I've seen examples of both cases. So I would disagree with the status of the male as being the key point who seems to determine the whole sexual market dynamics or sexual selection. Status, which I'm understanding from the email as the social status some man occupies, or for the purpose, it can be pretty much any kind of evolutionary sexual marker. It's an advantage, and you might have, and that it might bring you results. It's not a surprise for anyone that status, as well as looks or wealth, can create attraction. Not will, but can. That's true and undeniable. Are any of them the key point? The one thing that surpasses everything else? Well, far from it. If you meet a wide range of individuals who are great in attracting women, as I'm fortunate enough to have met, you can also realize all these evolutionary markers are very dispersed and are definitely not the key point. There are players from all walks of life, with a whole set of different characteristics. Some are poor, rich, good-looking, ugly, popular, introverted, status and no status, with wide jaws or thin jaws. They are short or tall, they are bald or they have a full set of hair, they are direct or indirect. Well, there are examples of great players and seducers across all this range. And truth be told, if we had a list of evolutionary sexual markers, some of these guys would be really down the score line, as in having a negative score. Where does sexual energy fits in? Sexual energy fits in the same place as a Big Mac. Why? Well, from a biological standpoint, there's absolutely no advantage into eating a Big Mac or any other kind of junk food. Eat it often enough and it reduces your lifespan. For some people it causes stomach and intestinal issues. Well, in short, we all know it's no good for us. Yet, we continue to eat it. Why are we putting ourselves in jeopardy every day by eating foods that are actually reducing our lifespan and go against our biology since we can't even digest it straight? It's all about the feelings and emotions it elicits as we eat it. Some urges are simply bigger, like the urge to eat a Big Mac. It's the same with sexual energy. Projecting a sexual energy to the outside world make the women around you feel sexual every time they are around you, and all the sexual evolutionary theory goes down the drain. They will simply want to indulge in this feeling deeply, regardless if your face is symmetrical, or if you are a poor guy, or if you are a bald guy. You become the Big Mac, too good to resist, even if it's not the best choice. Evolutionary markers and status are weak compared to the power of sexual energy. Generate strong emotions, especially strong sexuality, make everyone around you feel sexual, and you'll see its power in action, regardless of the symmetry of your face, of your height, of your social status, and your wealth. Not everything can be explained by the evolutionary theory. Human relationships are far more complex than that. Even using simple psychological manipulation, as many seduction methods use, it can override all the evolutionary markers combined. So you can take this as an excuse of, well, my face is not symmetrical enough, or I don't have enough status to get quality women, to stay put and not do anything. Or you can take matters into your own hands, elicit strong sexual feelings, and have the result that you are looking for. Sexual energy is not the only method to accomplish this. As I mentioned, simple psychological manipulation will override all the evolutionary markers the same way. But sexual energy is the most natural and healthy method to get there. To develop your sexual energy and learn how to deal with it, we have 2 different trainings. The first training, Sexual Energy Mastery, handles the discovery and manipulation and development of sexual energy. It uses a specific and innovative process to help you discover sexual energy and allow it to flow freely inside your own body. This will end all the blocks and repression of sexuality in an easy-to-do way. The second training is a Sexual Magnetism, which works mostly in the projection and externalization of this energy with specific techniques to project and use the energy for specific applications, laser targeted or increasing your overall sexual magnetism to be able to attract sexual partners easily. For more information and the rest of this series, a frequent newsletter on these topics and more training courses on sexual energy, personal magnetism, charisma and magnetic gaze, visit charismaschool.com.